Hi, and welcome to the Health for Life podcast for those who want to build strong trucks and strong bodies. This is Kevin Munez and Maya Hickman, your wellness team, bringing you practical tips and tricks to improve your health. Our topic today is self-care.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. We're ending the year on a positive note with conversation about self-care. But let's first talk more about what self-care is. Simply put, it means doing things to take care of your bodies, minds, and souls by engaging in activities that promotes well-being and reduce stress. Self-care is how we maintain a healthy relationship with ourselves, which is the most important relationship we have, right? So that's where it all begins.
Yeah, absolutely. So people often tell me that they don't really have time for self-care and they feel guilty when they do take time for themselves. So I want to clear up a common misconception just from the start here. Self-care is not synonymous with self-indulgence or being selfish. Self-care means you're taking care of yourself so you can be healthy and you can be well so that you could do your job so then you can help and care for others. This is kind of like when you're on the airplane and they say you need to put your oxygen mask on first before you go and help someone else. Um, so that's what self-care is.
Exactly. That is one of my favorite examples, actually, Kevin, with the mask on an airplane. I use it often with my clients. That's exactly what it is. One of the other things I like to tell my clients is, the self-care is not selfish, it is necessary. So my mantra, self-care is not selfish, it is necessary. If we are not healthy, well rested, and mentally and emotionally well, we just don't have the energy and the capacity to do all of those things that are top priority on our list. So we simply have to put ourselves first, or everything and everyone else will ultimately suffer. In order to be the best employee, the best spouse, parent, and friend, we first need to be the best that we can be towards ourselves. And that is where self care comes into play.
Yeah, now keep in mind that self-care may be different depending on your needs, your interests, and your preferences. So even your own definition is likely to change and evolve over time. So we do not suggest that you all should go out and get a massage and meditate, have a yoga class, although these are wonderful examples of self-care activities. You know yourself best. So you know what you're going to need in your life and you know where you might feel depleted. So the first step is to check in with yourself and ask, how are you doing and what is your body asking for? So ask yourself, which of my needs are not being met?
Yeah, and I really like that question, because there are several universal human needs that simply need to be met for us to feel whole and healthy, balanced and energized. And some of those are the needs for rest, right? For movement, needs for nutritious food, needs for community and safety. So very basic, universal human needs. If you are tired, for example, and have low energy, it is likely that your need for rest is not being met. So, which self care activity do you need to engage to help meet this need? Maybe you need to rearrange your schedule so that you can go to bed at the same time every night and then get the 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Or, for example, you're feeling lonely and isolated, and this is probably the way we all felt during COVID, right? You need communities not being met. We all need to be around other human beings. So maybe you should call a friend, call a family member, plan a lunch with a friend if you haven't seen them in a long time. The most important thing here is to really pay attention to the signs of unmet needs and take the small self care actions, small steps that can make you feel significantly better.
Yeah, now practicing self-care is not always easy. Most of us are super crazy busy with stressful jobs and family obligations. So me time is usually one of the last things on the agenda. Fortunately, there are many things you can do to engage in self care. So, no matter what you choose, the goal is to figure out what strategy works best for you and your current needs, and then to implement them into your regular routine as consistently as possible. We already mentioned sleep and spending time with your friends and family. Some other ways to engage in self care are things like regular movement, healthy meals, spending time outside, reading, listening to music, and so many other things you could do. So, Maya, what are some of your favorite self care activities? This might give our listeners some ideas and suggestions.
Yeah, so as you guys know, I'm a dietitian and a wellness coach. So it is not surprising that nutrition is my priority on a typical day. So I make sure to eat vegetables, fruit, and healthy fats every day, like nuts. So that is my everyday routine. I rarely compromise with this. I will always have something healthy. I drink adequate amount of water, and I do avoid sodas and other sweetened drinks. I will occasionally have it, not very often. I do exercise fairly regularly, and I have a gratitude journal, which is my little recent addition to my self-care. I use this at the bedtime. And it really helps me, shift my perspective to all the positive things in my life. There is something good in every day, so I do try to remind myself of that. I also find that taking the talking to my family and friends is really, really important to me. They live all around the world. So I really try to stay in touch with them. It helps me keep grounded and connected and very intentional about making time to stay in touch with my loved ones. Traveling is another thing that I really love doing. It really helps fill my batteries. So I do try to get out of town as often as possible. What about you, Kevin? Give us some examples of your self-care routines.
Okay, so as most of you know me and that I'm high energy, my family refers to me as a Jack Russell Terrier. It is that constant need for movement and activity, and I have to have a project to do. Like my idle hands just throw me out of my routine. So I exercise regularly. So whether this is walking, running, biking, lifting weights, doing burpees, whatever it is, it has to be done. My mind requires that. But some other things that really help calm me down and center me and allow me to be me is I love being outside. Getting some sunlight and some fresh air is huge in my world. Um, some of you know I do some paint by numbers that WebMD has provided for me. So I paint not all the time, but I paint somewhat often. I also play music, so I listen to music a lot, and then spending time with my family and friends, whether that's in person. So during the COVID time, we did Zoom a lot, so we actually got to catch up with family members that we don't normally see on a more frequent basis. Um, and then eating, like Maya said, um, I like eating, so I also like to cook. So cooking is another escape for me. It puts my needs up there. So when I feel like I've cooked a good healthy meal, I can then provide those healthy things and those helpful things to those that are around me.
Yeah, those are awesome examples. And I love you mentioned cooking. Cooking can be not just a chore, it can truly be one of those fun and creative activities that is a part of our self-care. It just truly is kind of shifting the perspective, right?
Right.
And it's important to think about self-care as one of the best disease prevention tools we have. All of these things that Kevin and I talked about today is things that we need to do and can do to make sure that we stay healthy for a long time. So when self-care is regularly practiced, the benefits are broad, and it can even be linked to positive health outcomes such as reduced stress, improved immune system, increased productivity, not surprisingly, higher self-esteem, of course, as well. So this is why it is important to plan regular self-care. Look for small ways you can incorporate it in your daily routine in your life. So for example, you might wake up 15 minutes earlier and maybe sit with a cup of warm tea and just practice deep breathing before that chaos of the day begins. Or maybe you can take a quick walk on your lunch break or after work. The more you can work self-care time into your schedule, the better you will be able to grow and enjoy your life and just thrive as a human.
Yeah, so we hope that we were able to provide you guys with some helpful information here. So our team at Volvo Family Clinic can help assess your needs and plan your self-care goals as well. So if you need someone to talk to, you can schedule an appointment with your wellness coach, Maya, or one of the providers. We also have on the WebMD portal app daily habits that you can look at in balanced living, coping with the blues, sleeping well, staying connected, and having a work-life balance. So those are just some of the things that are available to you on the portal. For any other wellness, nutrition, fitness information, just feel to reach out to
Maya at maya.hickman@premisehealth.com.
and Kevin at kevin.muniz@consultant.volvo.com. Until next time, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening.